The mantra in online marketing is that content is king. Now, not all content is created equal. Google looks at different kinds of content and rates it in different ways. Fresh and unique content is key to getting a top Google ranking as well as attracting more and better patients. In today's Inside Patient Attraction, I want to bring in one of our senior writers and also the manager of our content team to talk about what it takes to attract more new patients in today's Google-centric world. Stick around. Welcome to Inside Patient Attraction. I'm Colin Receiver, and I'm joined today by the head of our content team, Rebecca Carroll, who we're going to be talking about creating unique content, how to leverage content marketing, better search engine rankings, as well as just attracting more and better patients. So, Rebecca, welcome onto the show.
Thank you.
You've been here at SmartBox for a long time now.
Yes, I have.
What's kept you here all these years?
I really have enjoyed watching the company grow and just being a part of all of that.
So you started out really boots on the ground writing the content, and now you're managing our content team of, 12 people?
Yes.
And overseeing all of the content that gets produced, from book writing to emails to on-site content to fresh and unique content across the board for all of our clients. What kind of day-to-day, how do you spend a lot of your days when you're working with our content team to produce that?
I do a lot of jumping around from different things. A lot of it is talking to the writers about what they're creating and how to prioritize what they're doing, but also looking at content, making sure that it's hitting the marks that we want it to hit, and then just managing what's coming in and how we can get it done as quickly and efficiently as possible. When
you're working with our content team, what do you tell them about content and SEO? How are those two connected?
Well, SEO is imperative in content. The content that we write has to be able to be found on Google, otherwise it's completely worthless. And so we are building in things for SEO keywords. We're building the content in a certain pattern or organization so that when someone reads it, it's effective. We're trying to make our doctors look like the experts. And so all of that feeds into the SEO power behind our content.
So when you're producing, fresh content that's Google friendly, what kind of different content can you put together?
Google likes a lot of different kinds of content. So we write a lot of just blogs. We write a lot of quizzes that are interactive, infographics that someone could look at and get the information really quickly. We're also highlighting videos and pictures from our doctors' offices. So we're just doing a lot of things that would be interactive that someone could look at and get information quickly, and hopefully make a phone call.
Why does Google like fresh content?
It shows authority for the doctor. So when Google is looking at that website, it shows that the doctor is paying attention, that they're adding new information, they're staying up to date, and that they're actually trying to use their website effectively.
Do you find dentists that haven't updated their website in a while?
Absolutely. A lot of dentists like to put that content up there and then they forget all about it, and then they don't even look at it for years. So they may be adding services, or Google may be changing and they're just not paying any attention to it.
Kind of a fire and forget mentality, and
yes.
Then 10 years later they realize they've got no ranking and no patients coming from their website?
Exactly.
So when you go into when we start working with a new dentist, and they've got a website that hasn't been updated in a decade, what kind of different pieces of content are you working with, and how are you building that out for them?
Well, we're going to start by just figuring out what they want to have on their website, and then we're going to build that website the way that they want it. So we're going to focus on the services that are going to get them the patients that they want. So all of our content is going to start there and then branch out. So we'll hit everything that they want us to talk about, but we want to focus on their niches and the services that they want to attract.
How do you make a doctor more attractive or more appealing in, say, implants or Invisalign niches?
And we try to make our doctors be the rock stars. We say that a lot, actually, that when we're writing, we want the doctor to come across as the rock star. They're the only person on the planet who you would want to do their you would want to perform the procedure that you're looking for. And so we talk a lot about how that doctor is special. What makes that doctor the one in their area to perform that procedure?
So when you're, building this material out to make one of our docs a rock star, how do you contrast? How do you compare that doctor to, say, a corporate chain that is their competition?
Well, we know a lot of corporate dentists are not giving patients personalized care, and that's what a lot of patients are looking for. And so when we're talking about a doctor, we want to make sure that we make it very evident that when someone walks into their office, they're going to be a person, not a number, that they're going to get the care that they're looking for, and that the doctor's going to take the time that they need to get them what they want.
What about becoming an expert by writing a book? Do you do a lot of that for our clients?
We do. A lot of doctors find that beneficial to have that in their, in their office, where they could hand somebody a book about, say, dental implants and say, I wrote the book about dental implants. It's a great way for a dentist to close a sale, but also it's beneficial for the patient to be able to see what they can expect and what's coming their way.
When you're producing content, you guys produce a boatload of content for our docs. How many pieces on average does it take for a doctor to have a solid search engine ranking? How much fresh and unique content do they need?
It really depends on the doctor. It depends on their area and their competition and what they're trying to accomplish in Google, how many new patients they're trying to attract. But we find a range between 2 and 12 pieces per month is about right for most of our clients.
So all this content that we're producing for our docs, how do you write it with persuasiveness to get people to call? What kind of tone and grammar do you use?
So we are working with a team of highly professional writers. We have people who have been writing for decades on our team with master's degrees. They really know how to write in a persuasive method. They know how to organize the content so that what the reader is looking for is prevalent. And so as a person reads through our content, the idea is that they would make that phone call after they see the information that they're looking for. Now we're going to include really high standard for grammar, spelling conventions to make sure that it's clean, but also we want it to be something that anyone could read. Anybody walking off the street could read it.
Rebecca, what do you normally see when we bring on a new client and the dentist himself or his front staff has written the website copy and has written a lot of that content themselves?
Well, sometimes it's decent, but a lot of times what we find is that it's just not what Google is looking for. It's going to be lacking keywords, which means that SEO is weak. It's probably not going to be organized very well. A lot of times we find spelling and grammar mistakes. So basically it's just not as strong as it could be, and it just needs it needs to be reworked.
Do you see any issues with how patients perceive the content that dentists write versus what maybe patients are looking for?
I think patients are looking to see that the doctor is who they are looking for. And a lot of times the offices aren't able to produce that content. They're a little too close. They need somebody to come in and see them for who they are and express that through their content.
Sometimes they get a little too technical in the weeds maybe about accreditations and clinical certifications that maybe patients don't understand what that is or what that translates to.
Right, or they might get caught up explaining the nuts and bolts of a procedure when really the patient just needs to know that this is a procedure for them, and then they can talk about the nuts and bolts in the office.
So, with our writing team, we've got such a capacity to produce so much great content, but why not take a doctor in Indiana and a doctor in California and use the same content?
Well, Google really frowns upon that, and we've seen doctors come through our pipeline who have done that, and they've just not seen the results that they're looking for. Google is not going to give them the SEO boost that they need to show up in front of patients. And so we write all the content unique so that the doctor has the best chance to be the authority and to show up first in Google.
And that's what some doctors may have heard of as a duplicate content penalty?
Yes, that's it. And we see it, and we get very afraid when we see it because it's not good, and we don't allow our writers to do it. So they may write about the same topics, but they are not going to write about that same topic in the same way.
If you're not attracting the types of patients you want, if your practice isn't growing, if you don't feel like you're thriving, let us take a look. You may have duplicate content issues. You may not have Google-friendly content. And part of the blueprint that we can put together for you, not only showing you what kind of patients and how many of them we can help you attract to grow and thrive, but how things like content and SEO play a major factor into getting the results that you need. Rebecca, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Pleasure to talk content, talk shop a little bit, and find out how you guys are able to help our dentists attract more and better patients.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Awesome. Thanks for tuning into this episode, and as always, keep moving forward. Are you tired of getting beat up on price? Are you attracting mostly price shoppers, insurance-driven patients, and the one-and-dones? Then click here to take your first step towards getting more and better patients who are going to pay, stay, and refer. Enough with getting beaten up already.